Just check it out for yourself. Follow me.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Of course, Thursday night on at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Gonna be a fun one tonight. We're gonna get into our guests, but first we of course want to get into our fun beard fact of the week. I'm actually really I've been digging around. I'm trying to find something that was going to be a little more centric to our guest, but a little bit harder to find some of the history back out in the Wild West. I'll be working on that, but I do have a fun one nonetheless. So Mesopotamian civilizations actually took great care of their beards. They would use products like beard oil and and something would be similar to a balm or a wax to stylize and to nurture their beards. It's actually a really fun one. Is they would also fashion their beards with ancient curling irons and make ringlets, frizzles, and other tiered effects. For a good example, the Assyrians actually would dye their beard hair black, as the Persians would actually do it more of an orangish red, and they would actually form them into spikes. So they kept it more of a thinner and kind of a stylized beard to keep over into spikes and whatnot. So they had a lot of fun with how they designed it, and it's, of course, used more for an intimidation factor during war because warriors were the ones who mainly kept beards at the time. So with that being talked about, I was actually referring more of a goatee style, more of a slimmer frame. And the reason being is because our guest tonight is a goatee champion. He's actually a good friend of mine. I got the chance to meet him back in September of this past year when he made a random trip out here into Tennessee, and I was really glad I got a chance to get to know him and keep in contact with everybody. How you guys doing tonight? So I'm going to go ahead and waste no more time rambling on. I got Mr. Patrick Dawson from the Sin City Beard Coalition on tonight. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Ray. How you doing tonight, man?
Man, I'm doing great. Well, I guess it's still late afternoon, early evening for you.
Yeah, here on the West Coast, it's just 4:00, so sun's still out here in Las Vegas, and it's pretty nice out today. Actually,
Yeah.
About mid 60s today with a light wind. So yeah, it's great.
Yeah, sun's out, guns out. Yeah, he messaged me.
Right.
So Patrick messaged me earlier, guys, and he was like, "Hey, just wanted to make sure about the time and everything." And I was like, so we were going over it, and he's like, "Well, I'm at the gym right now." He's like, "So I just want to make sure I'm going to be home in time." And if you guys have not seen Patrick like outside of his dress wear or anything like that, dude's got some arms on him and got both arms completely covered. It blew my mind. I actually did not realize that you had that many tattoos because every time I see you, you've got on a long sleeve shirt or something like that.
Right,
So,
right. Yeah. It's I'm pretty covered up with some tattoos. They started at about the mid late 90s, and I continue to get tattoos to this day. So but yeah, the upper body's pretty covered up. So
how old are you, if I can ask? I actually don't know how old you are.
I get this question a lot, but I actually just turned 50 this last December. So
I never would have
tell
pegged
people
that.
I just turned old.
It just means you get a better rates on insurance, and you get to enjoy the early bird special.
Yeah. That's how we've been doing. I eat like once a day, and lately it's been like 4:00 in the afternoon. And I'm like, I'm an old person. I'm eating dinner at 4:00. Here we go.
So old. I'm watching some comments here. So the way you act, the way you carry yourself, I'd have pegged you for late 30s, early 40s. So.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah. I just try to, positivity, breeds positive thoughts, and I just try to carry myself with, my dad. I'm so fortunate. He's a 97. He'll be 97 this February, late here in February, and he's a World War II frogman. And man, I've had some struggles in life with businesses and relationships, and I'm like, Dad, how do I get through this, man? And he's just like, man, just laugh and have fun with life. And I've really taken that to heart over the last decade of man, life is short. It's we don't know, and so let's just have fun with it. And so that's kind of my motto, and I just try to come in everywhere, have a smile, and be friendly, and man, let's have fun. Let's have fun with life.
I 100% agree. Your dad sounds like he'd be a fun person to meet.
He's a badass for sure. Yeah, great sense of humor, hard worker. He's still in, my parents have the best looking yard, and he does all the landscaping. So still at 97, he's out there busting his butt, and yeah, it's pretty wild.
I'm sure that is he one of those get off my lawn type people at that point? Like,
not at all, man. So friendly, so friendly. He would offer, you're walking down the street, he'd be like, hey, how you doing? You need a drink? Come on over. He'll have a shot of Crown Royal with you, and talk to you for a bit, and he'll make some dad jokes, so and then,
those are the kind of people that are genuinely like precious to the world. So
oh man, yeah, I'm so fortunate. My parents both are just they're the salt of the earth, as they say, So very fortunate, very happy to have them as my backing for sure.
Look at that, Lori going ahead and just jumping straight into the plug. So
That's right. That's what we're all about. That's what this is all about, man. I want to tell everybody about what we're doing coming up here in March.
Absolutely. We're going to get to that. I want to dive back into a little bit of your history and how you got into the beard community, because like you've been growing your goatee, your beard now for 22 years, according to the bio that you sent out. And you've been competitive for 13 years. So like you were in the early stages of the competitive, like when it started really kind of blowing up here.
It's so I was born and raised in Seattle, and I played music, not very well, but I chased a rock and roll, dream for quite a while, and being from Seattle in those early 90s, grunge days, everybody was having some kind of facial hair. And mine even goes back a little further than that. When I was a little kid, I'd say, 4 or 5 years old, my uncle he was an Air Force mechanic, and he worked on the F-15s, and he was stationed in Germany. And then the early 80s, my grandparents would go to Germany and come back with all of us kids, souvenirs, and they would bring back nutcrackers. And, I just thought they were cool, these guys with beards, and I could play with them. And so my birthday is, 4 days before Christmas. So, it became kind of a thing with the whole family. Is like, what do we get Patrick for his birthday? What do we get him for Christmas? Oh, we'll just get him a nutcracker. So growing up, I'd probably say 50 nutcrackers in my bedroom, just on shelves, and along with posters of every rock band there's this shelves of nutcrackers. So I would go to bed with guys with beards hanging on, sitting in my room. And then my uncle was a lumberjack, and big burly guy with a big white beard. And, I would see him on all the holidays, and he'd come over. And so beards were always a part of my life. And then growing up, in the late 80s, early 90s, American soccer. Uh, there was Alexi Lawless, and he had a
Yep.
really cool like red goatee, and I was just like, man, that's a cool. And he had the big kind of like fro, and I was like, man, that's a really cool look that guy's got. And then again, like being a sports guy growing up, the Mariners in the mid Seattle Mariners baseball team in the mid 90s were pretty popular with Ken Griffey Jr. and they had a guy Jay Buhner, and he had this real cool goatee, and I was like, man, that's a cool look. And so as I started playing music, I started growing different facial hair, finding what was right for me, and I tried to grow a full beard, but I already have like, a pretty big head. Like my hat size is like 7'3", so it's a pretty good size melon. And so as I grew a full beard, it just made my face look, so big. And I was like, oh, okay, well, that's not really working for me. But I grew out some like cool sideburns, and I had a nice goatee. And through playing music, I ended up running into meeting some friends and stuff. And it happened that one day we were at a show, and they were like, hey, we're opening a bar. And I've been working since I was 12 years old, had a paper route for 4 or 5 years, and then went at 15 and a half, went to work as a dishwasher. So I've always had this work ethic. That's what my parents instilled me. Just, you got to work. They're from that generation. And so I just worked and worked and worked. And a lot of my punk rock friends, they didn't really run into working. But when a couple of my friends said, hey, we're opening a bar, you should come and be a part of it. And it just happened to be a time where I was kind of out of work, and I was like, there's nothing better, man. I'll go there and start working and painting and doing stuff. So I went there and started working for free for like 3 months. And then when they opened the bar, they're like, so you got a job, you can come in and start working. And I was like, awesome. I've spent a lot of time in a bar, but I've never worked at a bar. But cool. I think I got the idea of how this works, So let's give it a shot. So within a couple of months of working there, I went from bar back to bartender within like 2-3 months. And anyhow, so that's where I started growing a beard, because people were like, can't remember your name, but the guy with the beard, man, that guy's cool.
I think I agree with Natalie. We need to see some of the pictures from the early years now.
Oh yeah, well, I don't have any on me right now, but there's some out there for sure. I'll post some here.
So Rob's like, you can't see all of Patrick's beard. Patrick's actually got his beard done up in a French braid right now. But
it's this little quick braid that I do. It's more of a twist. I just kind of split it and twist it down, because it is, I don't know, it's about 22 inches long, something like that. So
it's a monster.
It definitely, if I don't do something with it, it's all over the place. And I tried a regular braid, and it just didn't look right on me. And this was quick and easy, and I was like, oh, I can do this. So but then as a bartender, we did bands from all across the country, national acts and local acts, and one day, it was October of 2008, this guy came into the bar, played in some band out of LA, and he's like, man, that's a cool beard. You ever heard of Beard Team USA? And I was like, nope.
Wow.
I have no idea what you're talking about, man. And as a bartender in a like punk rock bar, you get a little jaded a little bit. So I was like, I don't know what this guy's talking about. But ended up being pretty cool cat, telling me his story and how he had this like cool beard, and then he had got cancer, and went through chemo and everything, and he beat cancer, so that was awesome. And I was like, oh, this dude's pretty cool, and I'll go back and take a look at this little Beard Team USA thing he's talking about. So 2008, went home, and I was kind of living out in the woods, so hit the old AOL dial up and sat there for 45 minutes waiting for it to open. And the first thing it said was Beard Team USA. Unlike any other Olympic team, there's no drug testing or gender testing in Beard Team USA. And I thought, oh, that's kind of funny. And then I scrolled down, and oh, whoa, there's a beard competition. The world competition in Anchorage, Alaska of May of 2009. And I was like, oh, wow. I've never been to Alaska, and I had no idea that they did beard competitions. Now, my beard was nothing what it looks like today, but I thought, oh, dude, I'm going to Alaska, and I'm going to be #1 in the world. And I was quickly, as soon as I got there, I was very much realized that, no, maybe I got a little bit of work to do. But what happened is, me and one of the other bartenders who grew a beard, I was like, Justin, did you know that they have beard competitions? He's like, no, man, I have no idea. And I go, you ever been to Alaska? He's like, no. And I was, well, dude, let's put a tip jar out. And this beard, the world competition's May of 2009. We have 6 months. Let's put a tip jar out when we work together and see if we can raise some money. So we did that, and within the 6 months, we raised $1,500 and sent him and I up to Alaska for a week, and we went to the world competition, and man, it was just it was great. The minute we got there, like, we're walking down the street, and one guy notices us, and he's like, "Hey, you guys going to the beard meet up?" And we're like, "Actually, we are." And he's like, "Jump in." And we're like, "Awesome." We jump in, and he's the guy with the beer. He's got 2 kegs of beer in his van. I'm like, well, we got the right one, man. Let's head on out there. So we get there, and like, it was on this beautiful little island looking over the water, and they just greeted us with, here's a cup, go get a beer, we got food over here. Everything was just it was just an open, open buffet of food and drinks, and we were like, whoa, this is pretty cool. And we had a great time. And then the next day they did a parade down the street, and again, we had no idea what we were getting into. And we walk up just in our street clothes, and everybody that's there, now there was over 300 competitors from 13 different countries there. And everybody's dressed to the nines in all these suits and outfits. And we were like, oh, I did not know that this is how it goes. And but again, we walked the all down Anchorage there, down Main Street, and into this big pavilion park, and it was awesome. We were just like, this is great. So of course, me and Justin were like, before the competition tomorrow, we need to hit a costume store and get a little outfit for the actual event. So we went and got some costumes, and again, we just had a great time, and ended up taking 4th in the world at my first competition. And I was like, I'm hooked. I am hooked on this. So
was that the one that was on Whisker Wars? That's what Charms was saying.
Part of that might have been on. I know the first U.S. National, which was in Bend, was definitely part of episode 1 of season 1. and that was probably where there might have been some stuff from the Worlds in Anchorage, but most of the Whisker Wars stuff started with the U.S. National in Bend in 2010.
So your first competition was in 09. Wow.
09.
And you
Yeah.
decided to go. You decided to go to Worlds right off the bat. It's like
Yeah. Well, let's do. And again, I had no idea that they had any kind of competitions for beards, and I was just like, man, who can say that they're a world champion? That's got to be one of the coolest things, And so that was the goal, to be the world champ and to come home and be like, I'm the champion, man. So
yeah.
but that
Natalie
didn't
just took
happen
the words
right
right
away.
out of my mouth. Natalie just took the words. I was like,
that
that's a
didn't
go
happen.
big or go home type of personality right there.
Yeah, and I was quickly realized that didn't happen right away. The first 3 or 4 years that I competed, I didn't podium at all. I just kept showing up and getting good responses, and it was a little different back then as far as like the nationals and how they literally just had 3 categories, a mustache category, a full beard, and a partial category, and then they went through rounds of how they did it, so you might make it through the first cut and the second cut, but 3 or 4, like, that's where it ends. So but I just kept going because I was meeting really cool people and having a great time with it. I love the travel. I love the camaraderie of the people that are involved. It's always just a fun time, So that's what kept bringing me back and going to different places that I'd never gone, and having the ability to have a built-in network of people there that I can go, cool, let's go check this out, or somebody would say, oh man, there's a really cool place. And I'd be like, I've never heard of that. And they're like, oh yeah, we got to go check it out. And I for example, in 2019, when we were in Tinley Park for the U.S. National, Anthony Cardi, he goes, we got to go to the L&L Tavern. And I'm like, what's the L&L Tavern? He's like, it's the most creepiest bar in the world. It's the place where John Wayne Gacy used to come dressed in clown makeup. And I was like, oh, this has got to be wild. So let's go check this place out, and it definitely lived up to that. It was a pretty creepy joint.
Rob, you can find a beard comp just about anywhere at this point. Like, get out there, man. Have some fun. Since we're going to go into that and talk about beard competition, like, because you've been around, and there's some other questions I want to get to before we jump into Battleborn.
Sure.
But like, so as somebody that has been in and around the community since 2009, like, what are some of the biggest changes that you've seen?
That's a good question, man. It has definitely become more charitable based. Early on, it was kind of a free for all, and you get a lot of wild and crazy stuff going on. Now it's definitely become more of like, hey, let's help the others. Let's help people out. Let's have a good time, but let's not get rowdy. Let's not ruin what we're trying to build. So and a lot of those people kind of weeded themselves out. That were kind of causing havoc and stuff. And but yeah, it's the charity aspect has really rose up. Even early on with the U.S. with the nationals, that was for profit. There was no charity money going out. So,
Right.
so that's and again, I think that's where the alliance started, with that wanting to be more of a charitable aspect of what we're doing and not just taking profit, So,
Right.
yeah, that's probably be the biggest thing. Um, you know, um, definitely there's been more guidelines in place. We've definitely come up with more um,
Styles and
sanctions of,
categories.
yeah, and categories have been more defined. Wherein before you would question sometimes, like, I wonder why they, is this a favoritism? Is this or is it based off of the actual facial hair? Where I feel like that has changed as well. It's not just a popularity contest. It's really based more on the facial hair, which is good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, and I think I think it's a good thing. And just like anything, like once things start kind of gaining momentum, the it becomes more refined. And I think that's
Sure.
from what I've gathered from my research and people that I've spoken with, like yourself and others that have been around the community for such a long time, is that my perception is that the whole community's kind of refined itself and become a little more, what's the word I'm looking for, inclusive, I guess, when it comes to the different styles and a little
Right.
more
And
open.
that's good. Everything as it grows, there's always growing pains with
Right.
things, and the more people that get involved, you know, we become a better group that way. And again, like I'm definitely one that can speak on it, but man, when you start doing good things start happening for you. And so I'm just so thankful for this community. Like I said, I was playing music, and I owned a live music venue where that was who I was. And then when that kind of went away, I kind of lost you know, my who I was. I
Yeah.
was like, man, I'm kind of lost, but I had the beard community to fall back on, and it definitely gave me a sense of being in times when I really needed it. So it's been a great group of people, and again, like the beard community, it's such a giving group of people that it's awesome, the positivity that comes out of it. And so many people will reach out if you have something going on, and 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 be willing to help you. And that's great, man. And in the day and age that we're in, it's great to have people that you can fall back on and can help you out. So
100%. There's no other community on earth like it, in my opinion. And me and you have very similar stories when it comes to what the community has done and meant for us. Like when it comes to losing yourself from something that you've been doing for so long, and then falling, kind of finding the beard and mustache community and kind of moving into that. And I, you
mhm.
know, I talk with people all over, like with my job, about what we do in the community, and people are always shocked to hear that it's a real community.
Right.
And they ask me like, so what's it like going out to these comps? And I said, it's a family reunion every single time, you know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's when I say, like, they're like Rob said it earlier, like everybody's always friendly. Feel like you've known everybody forever, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy about what we do in our community.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm really excited to see that community grow and expand. And that's kind of the whole point with what I do here is I want people to know who you are. So like I share this out on my personal page, and I want people to see the community for what it is and what we do, because I feel like the more people know, the better we are and the more we can help others.
Absolutely. You know, pre-COVID, you know, I hate to bring up COVID, but pre-COVID, like there was a large group of people that would come out, and after that, it's definitely taking a bit to gather those people to come back out and be a part of competition. So,
Right.
but definitely like this last national in Casper, like there were so many people there, man. I was like, wow, okay, this is what I remember. And it was awesome to see so many people involved and being out there and traveling. And so, yeah.
It like, and I didn't get to go to Casper, but I saw pictures, and
Uh-huh.
the group that was there was phenomenal. And I mean, even some of the, you know, like even some of the other comps, like we were just in Texas a couple weekends ago for You Matter,
Awesome.
and that was an amazing comp. And I don't remember the exact number, but I think we had over 70 competitors
That's
uh,
great. Yeah.
out in LaGrange, Texas,
Yeah.
and you know, just to see people coming back, as Andrew said, we won't say those words, but the coming back, kind of bouncing back and getting more in the community is really good. And I want to say, you know, like Natalie just said, I want to see more people come back to the competition world and have some fun. So
Yeah. Yeah. And definitely bring in, you know, and that's just bringing awareness out there. And I know everybody that talks about beard competitions to the new people, they always laugh. They're just like, what? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But then they come and they're like, oh, I get it, you know? And, so that's why with us, with Sin City Beard Coalition, we've been literally since November, meeting every Sunday somewhere throughout the Vegas Valley and just trying to recruit people to come and be a part. Just come and hang
right,
out with us.
do
And
the Sunday walks.
yeah, and just hang out. We'll see. And we're starting to see that momentum of our work. People are starting to show up to our little meetings, you know, and so that's great. And they're new people that, you know, we just had a guy, Steve, that he's like friends with Paul Kennedy, and and Paul, he reached out to Paul, said, hey, there's this club, Sin City Beard Coalition in Vegas here. And Paul was like, go meet them. Go meet them. So thank you, Paul, for having them come be a part, you know. And Steve and his friend Tim seemed to have a really good time. Nice older gentleman. And yeah, so we're, you know, again, with the beard community, we're an all-inclusive group, man. We take everybody in. We just had we work with the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation, and we do this. They do Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation works throughout the country, but every year they do a thing called Ride for Kids, and it's all one day throughout the country, except for Vegas and Arizona, Phoenix, because when they do it nationally, it's like August, and it's just too hot here to get out on your bikes in August in Phoenix and
Right.
Las Vegas. So we do it in early October. And so the Sin City Beard Coalition, we went and volunteered this year, just handing out breakfast to 300 bikers, you know, and because we were like, well, it's a great way to meet bikers. Lots of them got beards, you know, so great way to introduce ourselves. And sure enough, you know, we were handing out, we had these little poker chips that we had, and we were handing them out to guys with beards. And lo and behold, one of the guys, Jeff, and his significant other, Evie, they started coming to our meetings, and it was just from us going out and being, hey, we're just we don't sell it as a beard club, we sell it as it's a meetup, so
Yep.
that we can just, as we get older, it's hard to meet friends and stuff, so we'll meet up and become friendly. And then after a couple times we're like, so actually, we're gonna have a competition, and we're raising money, and they're like, oh, okay, but some people, they don't get on board on that part of it. But some people are totally in on it. They're just like, oh, that's great! What an awesome way to help and raise money, and so yeah, that's how we've been kind of recruiting and doing our thing around here, but.
So let's go ahead and get into Battleborn, because it's funny, Fabs, he just made the comment, can't wait to see what you guys do this year, because last year was going to be hard to beat.
Right.
And because I've seen pictures from last year's comp, and I've seen the trophies, and that looked like a really good comp, and I wish I'd have known about it at the time, because I
Sure.
didn't really pay attention to the beard calendar. So remember that, guys, beardcalendar.com.
That's
for
right.
all your competitions. So let's go ahead and get into this. So Battleborn, obviously Battleborn is the state motto.
State
Is that
motto
right?
for Nevada. Yeah. And so little bit, a little backstory. We didn't start the Sin City Beard Coalition until COVID broke, so we didn't start it until 2021. And within, I don't know, a few months of us being together, Kelly from the Bearded Lady Saloon out in Pahrump reached out to Beard Team USA and Brian Nelson from Austin Facial Hair Club. And she was like, hey, I want to do a competition out here in Pahrump. Is there something that you could tell me? And Brian was like, well, actually, we have a member that just moved to Las Vegas, and maybe we can have you two sit down, and he can kind of walk you through what needs to be done. And so we really weren't ready to have a competition, but Kelly was gung-ho, and she had this national chili cook-off going on. So she's like, let's do the competition at the chili cook-off. And the tough things about competitions is trying to find a venue that doesn't want to rake you over the coals with oh yeah, you could do a competition here, it's going to be $1,100 or something. Well, we're a charity, $1,100 takes a lot from our charity. So but
Right.
Kelly was awesome and was like, I have a venue for you. So we were like, oh, okay, let's do it. So Parump's about an hour outside of Vegas, and it ended up being really cool. We had a cool venue with this national chili cook-off going on outside, and it really worked, even though it was a bit of a drive. So but we were really excited on how it turned out. And we had the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation out there, and we had some of the kids that are dealing with some brain tumors. One of our members, Mo K, his other half, Marlo, she works at Michael's, so they were able to donate some canvases and some paints and stuff. And we had the kids that some of them had never painted ever. We just donated them, and do what you guys want to do. If you guys want to just keep them. But if you want to donate them, and we'll auction them off, and it really worked. But the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation now, and they call them stars, we call them
Right.
the pediatric stars. So but being that most of them are here in Las Vegas, weren't able to make the trip out to Pahrump because, like, again, it's an hour drive there, hour back.
Right.
So, but we brought like 5 paintings from the kids, and again, the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation was just so excited. They were like, "Man, this is so outstanding!" And we were able to raise $5,400 that first competition, and they were just like, "Oh, wow, this is cool." So the following week after our competition, the Silverton Hotel is where they do the ride for kids. And they went and had a meeting with them and told them about us. And instantly the Silverton was like, well, we want to get in on this beard competition thing. So, so we're very fortunate and very blessed to have the Silverton on board this year. And they're providing us with a venue, which is the Vale Pavilion at the Silverton Hotel and Casino.
If you guys have not seen the Silverton yet, like, you should go look it up. Honestly, the whole building is really cool. When Patrick and I first talked about it, I had to go look up and just Google images, and just like, this is like one of the coolest venues I've seen for a large scale.
Yeah, it's definitely a large scale venue. It holds about 1,100 people. You have major national artists that play there, perform. Alabama's perform there. Billy Ocean, a bunch of different artists have played there, and so we're it's a full size stage that you'll be able to stand up there in the bright lights and be a part of it. So we're very happy to have them be a part of this with us, and we're really looking forward to building a relationship with the Silverton to work in the future as well.
So, and the charity is going to continue with the pediatric brain tumor.
Yeah, we're going to work with the Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation again this year. We just had we built a really neat relationship with them, and as we start to meet some of these stars, and I just hate to see a kid suffering and going through something. Lots of adults deal with that, but to be 6, 9 years old and dealing with a brain tumor and having to deal with that, man, it just tugs at my heartstrings. And if I can help these kids out, and I have no connection to any of them, but I just feel for them so much that I just want to help them out the best I can, So
definitely.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the classic casino park is like Silverton's and one of the older casinos on the new strip, aren't they?
Well, actually, it's the south of the Las Vegas Strip. It's just off of the boulevard, but it's very good access to the airport, to and from the airport, and then it's a 5-minute ride to the strip from there. So it gives us a lot of access to a lot of different areas, but it's not in the middle of the strip. And if you've ever been to Las Vegas, to be in the strip, it's a little overwhelming. There's a lot going on. So this is just off of that, and it's comfortable, it's very relaxed, but the hustle and bustle of the strip is just right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's really cool. But part of the Silverton is the Bass Pro Shop. So they have one of the largest Bass Pro Shops in the country there. It's like 3 stories. Then the Silverton has a mermaid aquarium tank, which they have multiple different large fish, and then they send in a mermaid to do some different stuff. It's kind of cheesy a little bit, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. And the mermaids will blow like little circles and stuff, and yeah, it's fun. But the fish tank is amazing.
Yeah, I've
So,
seen the pictures and the videos from the fish tank. It looks really cool.
yeah.
Natalie said it perfectly right there. I've been to Vegas once in my life, and I couldn't imagine trying to park on the strip or anything like that. So the fact that
Right.
it's a little south actually makes me feel a little better.
Yeah, yeah, and there's
So,
free parking, and all that stuff is right there, and
yeah.
super close to Red Rock Mountain. So you just take Blue Diamond down the road, which is the road right in front of the Silverton, and within 10 minutes you could be at Red Rock National Park. So and again, everybody thinks of Las Vegas as a strip. You get outside of the strip, there's so much beauty outside of in Las Vegas, in this valley. It's pretty amazing. Before I moved here, I had no idea, but I do a lot of hiking and stuff, and so I try to get outside into nature as much as possible. And man, there's so much cool beauty and a lot of, again, like you were saying, Wild West history out there. There's a lot of silver mines, a lot of ghost towns here, just outside of Vegas and stuff. So it's a cool area.
Yeah, no, I actually really that was one of the cool things that we saw coming through Vegas that morning. As the sun came up, you could see the ghost towns and the way the Red Rock kind of glimmered. It's a really interesting experience, and
yeah, for sure.
A lot of people don't realize, like, when they think of Vegas, they think of the Strip, they think of Caesars and all that, but there's so much more.
Right.
And I love the idea of doing it at the casino. Like, casinos gonna have quite a bit. Like, U Matter was done in a historic casino in LaGrange, Texas, and it was a really cool venue. So I actually kind of really like that layout. Mr. Shannon Klinkenbeer jumped in there.
Howdy, Shannon.
So big shout out to Shannon and the U Matter and everybody that was involved in the U Matter crew to get that set up.
Absolutely.
They did a killer job.
I'm so impressed with how much they raise each year, and it just gets better and bigger each year on the U Matter. So you
need to make it to U Matter 3.
Yeah, props to Shannon and Tisha and all that are involved with that. Monty, he was the first one in Scranton to give me a U Matter. I don't know if it was a sticker or if it was a badge, but yeah, it was pretty cool. I was like, oh, it made me feel good. I was like, oh, I matter, but
everything they're doing down there is great. And it sounds awesome. Like you guys are on the right path too, doing this Battleborn. And go ahead, and Andrew, if you don't mind, just flip up the banner for Battleborn here. And I love the way this is looking, and it fits very well for the state, and I'm excited. You can pull it down. How many categories are you guys looking at for this competition?
So we're looking at 16 different categories. We'll be doing. We'll have our Build the Beard table again for the kids. So we have a bunch of craft stuff that the mom and dad can help them, or the kids can, and we're probably putting a cap about 17 years old on that. At 18, I feel like you're an adult. You should probably go up against the adults in the category. So, but we'll have a kids category. We're gonna have a couple mustache categories. We'll have each partial. So we'll do a chops category. We'll do the whaler. We'll do a goatee category. We'll have a freestyle.
I mean, of course.
Yeah. And then we'll do all of the typical, full beard categories, the 0 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 12, 12 and over. And we'll do a styled mustache, full beard style mustache. We'll do a veterans category. which will be a different trophy than the other trophies that are with the other categories. So if you're a veteran and you want, and the veterans category, if you're a veteran, we're not charging you. We just want you to be up there. We want you to be recognized, and we want to honor our veterans. So that one's that's a free one. Join. You're a veteran.
Absolutely.
Get up there and let us, show you our appreciation. But then we'll have two craft categories, a realistic and a creative as well. So yeah, we'll have I believe it's 16 categories in total.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That actually, Fabs just brought up a good question. Is any pre-registration, any codes for the host hotel yet? I know that you were working on that with the Silverton about getting a block.
Yeah, so the Silverton is in the middle of renovating all of their hotel rooms. Now, we've been told that by the end of February, those will all be done, and that we're the first to get the notification that they have them ready, and we'll get a block. But until then, they're not willing to say yay or nay that, yeah, you guys got it. Because, with construction, things do fall behind, and they don't want to open up a block and then not be able
to follow through.
So, but as of hopefully by the end of the month, we'll, prior to March, we'll have notification that they will have that ready for us. So we're building our website. It's up and going, and our pre-registration will be on there. Hopefully that'll be done here in the next few weeks as well, and have all that up and going, and we'll be able to, hey, Greg, and we'll have that as well. So,
and once that's up, guys, I'll make sure that it gets out here on our page so we can get it plugged out for Battleborn as well. I'm definitely excited. I'm hoping that I can make it out to this one. I know me and you've been talking about it, and I can't wait for them to see the trophies. We're not going to show it here because they're not ready yet, but dude, the trophies this year are going to be stellar.
Yeah, they're definitely battle related. Nothing. You'll be able to check these at the airport this time. I don't think you won't have any problem with TSA like last year, but our best in show probably still will have a little bit of an issue going through TSA. So forewarning, if you're traveling and you do win best in show, you might have to ship that home. But yeah, we're excited. We have Brushwood Creations helping us out again this year with our trophies. They did our judges awards last year, and we were so excited and thrilled with what they did with our judges awards last year that we went right to them and we're like, hey, we really want to have you guys help us build our trophies this year. So yeah, they'll be very unique. Each category or each spot, first, second, and third, will all be different trophies. So, but all very cool by themselves. So
absolutely,
yeah.
So, and we're getting asked the question.
Okay.
Just tell her. Lori says we'll just tell everybody what the trophies are, so we'll tell that, and then we'll go into a few things.
So we're going to be doing. Last year we did being Battleborn. We did axes or hatchets as our trophies last year, and this year they will be battle shields. So
yes,
each first, second, and third will have a different shaped battle shield, and they're They're about 14 to 16 inches in size, so they're all very nice size trophies. So yeah,
They are really cool. I got to see some of the early processes on this, guys. It's really cool. And I
there's a
told him there's an
that,
early stage of that one.
that's an early stage of it, but and that's probably not going to be the first place trophy. That's just a demo of what it will kind of look
Yeah.
like. But yeah, and
Just to give you
that's
guys an
unfair.
idea of
So,
an
kind of give
idea
you
of
an
the
idea.
diameter.
Yeah,
So
kind of give you an idea of what you're looking at. So yeah.
so Shannon asked, he's like, who are the judges? And I feel like we could maybe go ahead and let one out of the bag if you're up for it.
I mean, so yeah, and I'm definitely down to do that. So again, we like to have a representative from each grouping of bearding. So we like to have a mustache guy. We like to have a partial. We like to have a freestyle person. So this year we'll have 9 to 10 different judges. So we'll be rotating some of them through. 5 of them being in the beard community, and then 4 to 5 of them will be local celebrities here in Las Vegas. So without further ado, our first judge is a 4-time U.S. national champion and number 2 in the world for freestyle, and that's from Beards by the Bay. Mr. Anthony Carty will be our first judging announcement of this year. So
that's a bomb drop right there.
yeah. It's Anthony always comes up with a really unique bearding style, and I met Anthony again the first time I met him. I had seen him a few times at Worlds in 2017 and in Austin, and he did a fireball on stage, and I actually was sitting there talking to somebody, and I just out of the corner of my eye, I seen this like light on the side on the stage. I was like, "Whoa, what was that?" But Anthony just had this really cool look to him and his persona, and then I met him in Tinley Park, or no, actually, it might have been Richmond, and at the Great American was the first time I met him, and instantly Anthony and I we connected, and there's been a friendship built from that time on. We've traveled across the world. We've been we shared rooms in Brussels, or in Antwerp, and in Brussels when we went to Austria in 2019, and we've had a good friendship, and so it's we're excited to have Anthony on as one of our judges for sure.
I'm excited for you, man. It sounds like everything's shaping up to be pretty wild. I know you said you got some local celebrities there, and I'm excited to see who you guys pull in for that. It's going to be a good time for sure. So March 25th is going to be. What time is the comp going to start?
Doors will be at noon. We'll do, for those that aren't pre-registered, we'll do a registration from noon to 1:30, 1:45, and we'll try to get the comp started about 2:00, and go from there. We don't have a hard deadline to be out. So, if we have some fun in between, then we'll have some fun. So, you never know what our local celebrities might pull out of their hat. So, yeah. So, it'll be fun, and we're really excited once again to be working with Honest Amish. Honest Amish has just been so wonderful to our community, and getting the word out there and supporting these competitions. So again, thank you so much, Honest Amish, and we're real fortunate to have them involved. Brushwood Creations again stepping up, and the Silverton with providing us with this wonderful venue. We're really excited, and we look forward to seeing everybody out there. Again, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you have any questions. I will try to facilitate anything that I can. We're definitely, we're looking at, we've already opened our house to about 12 different people right now. So, if we can get more on the floor, we'll definitely put some people on the floor. But we're working on some other stuff as well. We're going to do a meet and greet through the Arts District, and which they have a bunch of really, really cool stuff in the Arts District, and we're working with to try to bring something unique for the going away brunch. We're going to do something that's untypical of competition. So we look forward to bringing that out there as well. I don't want to give it away yet because nothing is in stone yet. So,
of course,
but we're working on some really cool stuff. So, again, March 25th, Silverton Hotel, Las Vegas, Nevada. Come out, make it a vacation. Everybody just needs an excuse to come to Vegas. And what better way
than
coming
camp at Patrick and Lori's backyard.
Yeah. Hey, if the weather's right, bring a tent. You guys are more than welcome to stay. So,
all right, man. Well, I do want to thank you once again for coming on. I know we've been bouncing back and forth about this, about doing this episode for a few months now, with your work schedule being as hectic as it is and me transitioning jobs. So thank you for taking the time out. I'm glad we got the chance to do this. Big shout out to Honest Amish at Sin City Beer Coalition for putting this on and getting everything set up so we can go out there and raise money for the kids. So,
yeah, thank you, Ray. I really appreciate you bringing me on here and let me talk about this. I'd love to do it again. Come in
anytime,
closer to the comp, and
just
talk about and be able to show our trophies and do some more announcements. So thank you.
So then
again, Ray.
Not a problem. Let's set that time then. So
okay.
I'm gonna say we'll talk about that here in a few minutes afterwards, and we'll go through that. But yeah, any final words for the episode?
Just again, like I said, Bearding Without Borders, man, you guys are doing great things. I really appreciate you doing this and giving me the opportunity to let people know what I'm up to, and thank you everybody for watching, and I hope to see you all out here March 25th.
Yes, sir. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and kick you to the back for a few minutes and do my wrap up, and then we'll talk from there. Thank you again,
man.
Patrick. All right, guys, that's gonna be the episode. It sounds like it's gonna be a great comp, Shannon. I'm hoping that I can make that trip. The more and more I've talked to Patrick, the more excited I've gotten about it. So we're going to go ahead and get into our cleanup here, guys. In case you guys are wondering, I had somebody shoot me a text earlier and ask me which hat I'm wearing. I'm actually wearing the Bruin from Boston Scully, and it is one of the newer ones, but it's got a nice dark yellow, grays, and blacks all mixed in. And then, of course, can't forget my U Matter pin. So if you guys get a chance, you want to check it out, it is on the Boston Scully website. It is Bearded Rook for 15% off. Definitely go out there and check it out. We're going to go ahead and start rolling into our comps that we're going to. Of course, Broken Cavers is being the main sponsor, or the main charity that we're going to be working with for the Tallahassee Highland Games main event put on by North Florida Facial Hair Society. That is going down this weekend. I will be there. Me and Haley both will be there, as well as Aaron and Natalie. If you guys haven't seen Natalie as a judge for this competition, so if you guys are in the Florida area, please get out there and join us. Mad Viking Beard and Mustache Club here in Kentucky. They are currently, and we are still running our snack fundraiser going on, guys. We actually have an Amazon wish list. You can actually find it on the page if you want to take a look, and you can just order it and have it sent straight to us. If you were looking like Rob was earlier for a competition in your area, please check out the beardcalendar.com. They are very clear and very concise with getting everything up to date as much as they can as the competitions start rolling out. So keep an eye on that. Once again, these are the categories for the main event. I'm super excited. It's going to be a good time, and I'm actually gonna, when I get off here tonight, guys, I'm gonna grab a quick bite to eat, and then I'm going pretty much to take a nap because I'm getting on the road about between 1 and 2 this morning to make it down for this comp. Following weekend, so next weekend, guys, Lexington Polar Plunge is going on. February 18th, I will be doing the plunge along with the rest of my team from Mad Viking Beard and Mustache Club of Kentucky, along with a couple other of our friends from the Beard and Loathing. They are in on this plunge as well, so we're going to have a lot of fun with that. So definitely keep that in mind. Whisker Roundup coming up in April, put on by our good friend, is going to be Mr. Caveman and the Wicked Whiskers. It's definitely a good time. And Jared, I can't wait to see you, man. First weekend in March, guys, Mob Fest 6. It is going to be it's just like a big explosion of just fun from what I've seen from the pictures and what I've talked to with Boo and Mr. Purdy himself. You guys don't want to miss it. If you can make it to this comp, you need to be there. It's definitely a lot of fun. Going into the end of March, we have Bearded Hero Endgame. This is the last competition. So if you guys can make it out, they always put on a great time and they always raise money for a great cause. It is the last one. If you're here on the eastern side of the country and you can't make it out west, I definitely recommend going to Bearded Hero Endgame on March 25th. If you're out west and you want to get in there, definitely go to Sin City's Battleborn, as Patrick was talking about tonight. That looks like it's going to be an amazing comp, and you guys have just seen just the tip of the iceberg of what they've got coming. Don't forget, they've also got raffle tables. If you guys are looking, if you have a club or anything that you want to donate and help out for the raffle table to help raise more money for the cause, reach out with Patrick Dawson or Lorianne. I'm sure they will be more than happy to help get that situated for you guys. Moving on past that, June 3rd, between the Bearded Sinners and Beard Mob West Virginia, sponsored by Mad Viking, the Appalachian Beard Fest Part 2. And everything I heard about this one last year was absolutely amazing. This one is going to be on the FHL, and they've pulled out the stops for this competition. Make it out there, 3 to 7 in Ghent, West Virginia. It's going to be a great time. Moving forward, Mad Viking Indiana is doing the charity bowling bash going on. I want to say it's in July. I hate saying that because I don't remember the date right off the top of my head. I will get that date and make sure we get all these events put up here on the page for you guys. They are still collecting that. So if you get a chance, go check out Mad Viking Indiana's page. You can find the charity bowling bash on there. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's not beard comp related. It's just about having some fun and raising money for a good cause. Beard Mob Indiana, August 12th. Bearded Theater. I went to the comp last year that they did in August and had an absolute magnificent time. Beard Mob Indiana always brings the best game they can to town, and this year they've stepped it up even further, doing it in a classic theater. It's gonna be a great time. If you guys get a chance, please make it out there. And yes, Beardy Without Borders, the $5,000 Speedo Walk. So I want to get into that just a little bit, guys. As we discussed last week with Barefoot, the competition that it'll be done at is to be determined. It has not been set in stone. So what I decided to do, and I want to put this out here, since Andrew decided to go ahead and drop that bomb on me last week and didn't bother to tell me. Yeah, he keeps throwing it up there. That little bear with a cigar. I may have to make that a sticker at some point. But so $5,000. All the proceeds will be donated to the Kentucky Lyme Disease Association. And if we raise $5,000, then I will be in a Speedo at a competition. And whoever does it the most, whoever donates the most will get to choose which competition I'm going to do it at. So that's the deal. So with that being said, it would be a killer sticker. I'm going to have to put that together. So with that being said, beardingwithoutborders@gmail.com for the PayPal to raise the money. Whoever at the end of this, once we hit the 5,000, whoever donates the most will get to choose which competition, as long as it is kid friendly. And and that's a good idea, Chicken Wing. Make stickers and sell them for the charity. Absolutely. beardingwithoutborders@gmail.com for the PayPal. Bearding Without Borders on Venmo, if you guys want to go that route. Whatever you guys want to do, we will definitely get that put in there. I do want to say I appreciate each and every one of you guys who have been out there and help support the show and get it going and help me kind of keep going forward. So thank you so much. We are going to go ahead and wrap up for the night because I need to get some sleep and something to eat. But remember, always leave things better than how you found it, and always leave a legacy. Mad love. Have a good night, guys.